both candidates the same question. I'll repeat the question in between. Kevin, what is the most important issue facing southwestern Missouri, and what will you do about it?
Well, I think the economy is the main thing right now, and it's spurring job growth and promoting a business environment, and one that's secure not only at the business level, but then translates into our farm communities as well. That's done through less regulation, proposing legislation that reduces that, things where we get in line and make sure that as our budget comes around that we don't increase the spending at the state level. We keep the tax dollars coming back to the people here, and also we've got to have some tort reform involved in this. We've proposed quite a bit of that the last couple of years. We've not got much of it through. I think it's something we need to continue to hammer on, especially if the governor's office flips. That'll make it easier for us in the legislature. But I think that those types of things are what promote a better environment so that our communities are better able to compete with other states and the surrounding communities. Thank you.
Clayton, what is the most important issue facing southwestern Missouri, and what will you do about it?
Jobs. With leadership and my business experience, I will do everything I possibly can to make sure that they remove some of the regulations that stifle the growth of business. Because with business, you create jobs.
Thank you, Jim.
All right, this next question is for you, Clayton. It's actually both of you, but you go first, Clayton. Why do you want to be elected to this office to represent District 139?
My main reason for doing anything is to help people. When I was National Commander of the Military Order of the Purple Heart, the only reason why I want to do it because the higher up I got, the more doors I opened. The more doors I opened, the more people I could help. And that's what I want to do as state representative.
Kevin, why do you want to be re-elected to represent your district?
Well, I want to continue the work that we've started. I think that the platform that the leadership in the House of Representatives, and I trust that it's going to be maintained by the Republicans, I think that that's the most secure thing for promoting our communities and our state. And I'm one who comes from believing that God gives us certain gifts and abilities, and we're not called upon to use them for ourselves. We're called upon to use them for everyone else. And that's what I firmly believe. And whenever I go to Jefferson City, it's to give back to the community. It's to give back to those here and to be your representative, not to be my representative, but to be yours. And I do it for the community. I do it for my three boys that are sitting back there, Logan, Michael, and Nathan. I do it for my wife, and I do it for your families as well. Thank you.
Kevin, this question will be for you. In your view, what is the main role of government? Do you believe government has a purpose, such as a public education system, roads, public safety?
I believe that the government is there to provide certain infrastructure that permits private businesses and private individuals to function. I do not think that it's the government's role to intervene into private contracting situations. I don't believe that the government should be there to tell us what we should do with our property, to maintain controls on our personal property and rights. But I do believe that it is there to provide an enhancement for the quality of life. It's not there to rule our lives. Thank you.
In your view, what is the main role of government? Do you believe government has a purpose, such as a public education system, roads, public safety?
I believe that our state government should be involved in our education system to help the communities that are not able to finance the education that is needed for all the children. I think equal education across the state should be very important, and the state should be in control of that.
All right, Clayton. Do you support public education? And if you were elected, would you work to fully fund the formula for public schools that is now estimated to be underfunded by 400+ million? And how would you do that?
My wife's spending 27 years in the classroom as a teacher. Education is very important to our family. I do believe that the formula should be changed. I have sat down with the people at Nixa and gone over the formula, and there's very few people, I believe, that are common folks could possibly understand how that formula works. There's so many things in there that needs to be taken out and make it where you can look at it and read it and know what it's talking about.
Kevin, do you support public education? And if so, if you're reelected, would you work to fully fund the formula for public schools that is now estimated to be underfunded by $400 million? And how would you do that?
I do support public education. I've got 3 boys that are enrolled in Nixa schools right now, and we've got fine schools here in our community. The foundation formula does need to be funded. I do believe that there needs to be some changes in it, but what we've seen the last few years and what we tried to address the last couple is funding for it, but we just haven't had the money at the state level due to budget constraints. So first of all, I don't think that we'll actually get a full funding of the formula until we see some return of revenue to the state. And once that happens, though, I do think we need to have changes to make it more efficient and operate more fairly between the school districts and as far as those operate. But that is really where the primary funding will come from. It's difficult right now. All the departments are cut. They've been cut and cut again, and it's difficult to say we're going to take more money from one area to fund the formula right now. So, but we do need to look there as well where we can.
Kevin, this question is for you again. Many small towns are in your district. What are some current issues in either Clever, Highlandville, or Spokane? And if elected, what would you do about those issues?
Well, I think most of the municipalities operate within their own jurisdictions. So what we provide for support for them from the state is primarily highways. I mean, that's one of the things that we do. And we also provide a structure, I think, where that we should have economic development that promotes our small communities, not just our big cities. And we've got an economic development department up there in the state. But I think that the focuses to those local communities needs to happen as well. Within the district, we've got a little bit of difference. We've got Clever that's beginning to grow substantially. So we're going to have growth issues over there and how we maintain infrastructure and how we support that at the state level. Right now, Highlandville and Spokane are not seeing that growth, but we know as urban sprawl continues that that's going to be an issue in the future. But I don't think it's as much of one right now in those communities as it is in Clever.
Clayton, the same question. Many small towns are in your district. What are some current issues in either Clever, Highlandville, or Spokane? And if elected, what would you do about those issues?
I do believe that roads is part of your problem. And I'm going to use Spokane, for example. There's a curve where a road comes out, and I don't know how many deaths have resulted from there on that curve. And I think stuff like that needs to be addressed and be taken care of as soon as possible.